Hello again, friends. Welcome back to Hobart's Library. My name is Emily, and I am so happy you're here. I just had one heck of a time trying to figure out the audio situation on this phone. Ignore the sound of my guinea pig drinking from her water bottle. Girl's got a drink. Today we're going to talk about my favorite tropes in books, and I kind of wanted this to be like a chit-chatty sort of video, so I will be eating my butter noodles. Thank you very much. I like chit-chatting with people, but I always feel like whenever I'm chit-chatting that I should be eating something, that we should be eating something. So if you want to pause the video and go get yourself some ramen, we can have a little snack together while we talk about our favorite book tropes. And I haven't written any of my favorite tropes down. I'm kind of just winging it because that's how you chit-chat with people. Is you just sit down and you just wing it and you just hope to God that it turns out good. So I'm gonna also try to give a few recommendations for each trope, just in case these are some of your favorites as well and you're looking for recommendations. I'm going to try to give some of them. So, if Shein doesn't stop sending me notifications, I have not bought anything from them in years. Re-downloaded the app and I get like 4 notifications an hour. I wake up, most of my notifications, Shein. One from one of my coworkers at work asking why something didn't get done. So we're gonna start with the really obvious ones, right? We are gonna start with enemies to lovers. Enemies to lovers. Literally one of the, sorry, I'm just having flashbacks. I'm thinking about the books that I used to read before I was a Christian.
Whoa, hey.
Those books are hard to forget about. I pray that I do forget about them because they were a mess. Spiritually, garbage, right? But there is so much good enemies to lovers content. But there's also garbage content. So don't read them just because they have your favorite tropes in them. Let me show you some good, clean enemies to lovers books. Now, I haven't read a couple of these. I have them on my shelf, so that means I at least did enough research to say that they're almost certainly clean, almost certainly Christian content. So I'll talk about the ones that I haven't read first, just to get them out of the way. So this one is The Sound of Diamonds by Rachel, is that Ray? Not Rachel Ray. It's a different woman. Anyway, I haven't read this one, but the tagline, just to get you started, is her only chance of getting home is trusting the man she hates. Need I say any more? Okay, so it says, with the Protestant Elizabeth on the throne of England and her family in shambles, Catholic maiden Gwyneth seeks refuge in the Low Countries of Holland, hoping to soothe her aching soul. But when the iconoclastic fury descends and bloodshed overtakes her haven, she has no choice but to trust the rogue who arrives, promising to see her safely home to her uncle's castle. She doesn't dare trust him, and yet doesn't dare to refuse her one chance to preserve her own life and those of the nuns she rescues from the burning convent. Dirk Godfrey is determined to restore his honor at whatever cost. Running from a tortured past, Dirk knows he has only one chance at redemption, and it lies with the lovely Gwyneth, who hates him for the crime she thinks he committed. He must see her to safety, prove to the world that he is innocent, prove that her poor eyesight is not the only thing that has blinded her. But what is he to do when those goals clash? The home Gwyneth knew is not what she once thought. When a dark secret and a twisted plot for power collide in a castle masquerading as a haven, the saint and the sinner must either dare to hold to hope or be overcome. That sounds really good. That sounds really good, and I haven't read it yet because I haven't been reading a whole lot lately. I've been doing a lot of listening to audiobooks. I feel like I don't have any time to do anything that I like doing. I feel like I don't have a lot of time for me things. I just work, and then on my days off I have to clean the house and go to church, and I just don't feel like I have time for anything anymore, so hopefully I will be able to make time. My problem is that I don't like starting a book and then going to work, because I sometimes have a tendency of, if I put a book down, I just never pick it up again. And I'm afraid of that happening. I have to finish books quickly or else I might never finish them. The other book is Mare, ? Mary? I've heard it pronounced many ways. By Linda Windsor. And this is a book, this one sounded really, really interesting to me. This is the first book in the Fires of Glenmara series. And it says, 5th century Ireland, an ancient land of timeless mystery, where the spark of Christianity spreads like wildfire among kings, scholars, and peasants alike. And nowhere is the impact greater than among the Druids, as the light of Christ divides those seeking truth from those seeking power. Against this backdrop of passion and change, 2 warriors stand firm. Rowan of Emrys, I think, reformed mercenary, and Mare/Mary, warrior queen of Glenmara. Rowan and Mare clash on the battlefield, and Mare takes Rowan as her hostage and husband. Why, you ask? I don't know, I haven't read it yet. She cannot understand his faith, his dedication to the one God, but neither can she deny the truth in his claims that meekness and humility are stronger than any blade of steel. When they finally join together, lifting their swords against the evil druid Morlock and his corrupt forces of darkness, they discover the cost and joy of following the one true God and his Christ. Why haven't I read that yet? This has been sitting on my shelf for months. That sounds so good. I hope the writing's good. I hate when a good story gets ruined by bad writing. That kills me. I really hope this is good, because it's book 1 in a series, and I have the second book in my cart on Thrift Books, I think. So I do really want to read that series. That sounds really, really good. Oh girl, what kind of lip gloss are you wearing? Butter. It's just butter. The next ones are ones that I have read. Of course, we have Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I don't know if I'd call them enemies, but they certainly didn't like each other. Enemies seems a little strong.
From the first moment I met you, your arrogance and conceit, your selfish disdain for the feelings of others, made me realize that you were the last man in the world I could ever be prevailed upon to marry.
But, well, no, I guess not. I guess enemies is a pretty good word for them. He's proud, she's prejudiced, that's the story.
Let me explain. No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
Okay, and this one is First Life, which I have not seen anybody talk about, and I don't know why. Okay, I read this book. I haven't finished the series, because of course I haven't. I never do that. That is well known at this point. Rest in peace, Blades of Akhtar series. I will get to you. I promise I will finish you. Not for your sake, but for the sake of those who love you. Okay, if you have not read the First Life series or the first book or any of them, I really recommend it. Okay, so it's based on, I guess it's sort of allegorical. Hiccup, sorry. There it is. I guess it's sort of like allegorical. So the main character's name is Tenley Lockwood, and she is preparing for her death. It says the end is only the beginning, because after your death, during your first life, you choose where you are going to go in your second life. It says Tenley Lockwood has spent the past 13 months locked inside the Prynne Asylum. She's earned her rep as the craziest of crazies, but that doesn't stop the torture. Ten can leave, but only if she allows her parents to choose where she'll live after she dies. There is an eternal truth most of the world has come to accept. First life is merely a dress rehearsal, and real life begins after death. In the Everlife, 2 realms are in power, Troika and Myriad, longtime enemies and deadly rivals. Both will do anything to recruit Ten, including sending their top laborers to lure her to their side. Soon, Ten finds herself on the run, caught in a wild tug of war between the boy she's falling for and the realm she wants to support. Who will she choose? Can she stay alive long enough to make that decision?
I tell you what though, folks, that's bloody nice. That is bloody lovely.
I don't want to talk about it. This is a trilogy. It's really good. I really recommend it. Have I finished the trilogy? No. So I know I can't say that it's really good. I really liked the first book, okay? And I will do my best to finish the whole series. I promise I will. I can promise no more than that. Okay, the last book on this list sort of fits the bill for this, but it is also going to lead us into our next topic, which is marriage of convenience. I love this plot. I love this plot. Okay, so that is The Painter's Daughter. Of course it is, by Julie Clayson. Okay, The Painter's Daughter is like, they weren't really enemies when they got married, but like they didn't get along, like at all. But it definitely fits into marriage of convenience because she is pregnant with his brother's baby, and he's like, well, I think I'm gonna die at war anyway, so just marry me and then you won't be a disgrace for being with child outside of wedlock. I have raved about this book plenty. I don't think I need to do it again. Don't get me wrong, I will. But if you have not picked up this book yet, I highly recommend it. Let me show you another book that fits into this plotline and then we'll quickly speed forward. Okay, this is More Than Words Can Say by Karen Whittemire. This is also one of my all-time favorite books. This book is about, let's see, what was her name? Abigail Kemp, that's right. So she and her father, well, her father owns a bakery that she works at and her father has just passed away, and now they are telling her, you're a woman, so you can't really own a bakery. If a man's name is on the lease, you can work there, sure, but you've got to have a man on the lease. Because this is way back when times and women weren't allowed to like own, like be the actual owners of businesses and land. And so she needs to get a man on the lease, right? Honestly, I don't know if he needs more than this, but it kind of just sounds like he is essentially just doing it out of the kindness of his heart. I can't remember what it is that he needed so much that he was willing to marry her for, other than like baked goods and clean house to live in. I don't know. Cause her bakery is his favorite bakery in town. And he does feel really bad for her that the city council has kind of railroaded her and shut down her bakery and is going to sell it if she can't get a man's name on the lease. I know that he feels really bad for it. I cannot fathom a world where that would convince somebody to marry someone else, but maybe he's just a really good guy or something. Better man than me. I don't know if this one is a trope so much as like something that authors do, but whenever it switches perspective every like couple chapters or every other chapter between the man and the woman in a romance, here are some books that I've read that do that. I'm not gonna keep getting up and going over my bookshelf because then by the end of this I'm gonna have so many books over here that I have to relocate back onto the shelf, and my bookshelves are in color order, so that is not as easy as it seems. But I especially love reading from the man's perspective when he is, especially when he's like, when his lady's in danger and he has to set out and save her. Whenever it is from the man's perspective and his lady is hurt and he has to, oh my gosh. Insert literally every Karen Whittemire book right here. Oh, so good. In that same vein, another trope that I really like is, this is gonna sound really oddly specific. Injured man shows up at doorstep of healer woman. I can think of 3 books off the top of my head. There's the one by Karen Whittemire. Which one is that? Oh, fiddlesticks. I'll put it right here. Where the doctor, I think her name was Josephine, and she was the town's doctor, but whenever this guy shows up at her door, he's like, where's the doctor? I've got a guy who's shot. And she's like, that'd be me, bring him in. I'll take care of him, just lay him on the table. And they're like, what? You can't be a doctor, you're a lady. And then she be's a doctor, and their minds are blown out of the water. Because, would you believe, women are incredible caretakers and healers. May not be super science-minded, which I know goes into being a doctor, but women are incredible caretakers and very good healers. So I love when that happens. And then there was the first book in the Hagenheim series by Melanie Dickerson. Wasn't that girl a healer? And then like the prince or the duke or the whatever shows up and he's hurt. He got shot by an arrow, I think. Man, I'm sorry. I don't remember a lot. And then isn't there a Janet Oak book they called her Mrs. Doc or something like that? Am I tripping? Is that about a lady doctor? I feel like it probably is. Another one that I really love, and I know a lot of people really don't like it because the girls in these stories are always, not always, but a lot of the time are giving like, not like other girls vibes, which can be a little annoying, but I love the, like, a lot of brothers, one sister kind of vibe. I love whenever there's this one girl and there's all these men and they love her so much because she is their little sister and they're very protective over her. I'm thinking of, I didn't even like this book. That's why I can't think of the title. I mean, I didn't hate it, but like, I felt like the guy was kind of a jerk. I think I probably gave it 4 stars. But when I look back on it now, I didn't like it that much. I thought the guy was kind of a jerk, and I don't know. I don't know how I felt about that one. But that one had the trope of like a lot of brother figures that really cared about this one girl and were very protective over her, and I really liked that. I also think of Short Straw Bride by Karen Whittemire again. Sorry, she's my fave. And then when I was a teenager, a long time ago, this was a long time ago, I'm pretty sure it was clean. You'll have to double check it, but I'm pretty sure it was because I think it was like a young adult to middle grade book called My Life with the Walter Boys, which I'm pretty sure, wasn't that recently turned into like a Netflix show or movie or something? I don't know. I read it when I was like 14, 15. So I don't remember, but I do remember that it was like one girl and like 11 boys. Please don't lick her eyeball. That's super weird behavior. Thank you. Sorry, guinea pigs. Another one I really love is when books are based in other countries and it talks a lot about the cultures in those countries and especially the food. I love hearing about food from other countries because then I look it up and I make it and it's super, super fun. But I'm thinking of Love and Gelato, Love and Luck, and Love and Olives. That's a trilogy. I'm pretty sure it's all clean. It deals with a lot of like really heavy topics like difficulties in families and grief. But there's also romance in all of them, obviously, because it's love and thing from other countries. So Love and Gelato, of course, is based in Italy. That one made me cry my eyes out. Love and Luck is based in Ireland, and Love and Olives is based in Greece. Super, super fun series. Not fun. It's super sad. It's not, I'm pretty sure they all resolve themselves at the end and, you know, everything works out, but they do deal with hard topics. Really good, though. Can't think of any other books off the top of my head that are like that. This one also might be a little niche. But characters that are like resiliently happy. Where they are like, they're determined that this is gonna be good, it's gonna work out, they're gonna be happy. Especially when their partner, whether that's their friend or their romantic partner, or, you know, whoever it is that they are trying to work with, is so not thrilled about it. I love that so much. And then by the end of the story, the one that, you know, it's like Grumpy Sunshine, but like to the extreme. Really, really love resiliently happy characters where they're like, at one point they're like, I am going to be happy about this and you are going to like it. That is one of my, I love those characters so much. I also love genius characters, like characters that should not exist because they are so smart. I think of like Sherlock Holmes, I think of Hercule Poirot. They're just very, I think of Miss Marple. They're just like very clever, they're very smart, they think things through, and you love the gotcha moment where they explain how they came up with all these answers and how they like solved the problem and figured it all out. Oh, I really like those characters a lot. Hercule Poirot is my favorite character of like any book of any series of anything that I've ever read. He is my most favorite, but that's because he's charming in a way that like Sherlock Holmes is not. He is Sherlock Holmes if Sherlock Holmes wasn't a jerk face. Like, Sherlock Holmes was not a very polite man. He didn't really care about people, he just cared about finding the truth. Poirot very much cares about people and also finding the truth. He is on the side of truth, but that doesn't make him discompassionate. He's delightful. I can't give you any recommendations for this one because it would spoil the books. But I love, especially in mysteries, when there is a huge problem and at the end of the book, you find out that the narrator is the one who committed the problem. Whether that's a murder or any number of other things. Inconsistent narrators freak me out in such a good way. I've read a few, again, I can't say anything. I can't give you any recommendations for this because that I would be spoiling the book. But anytime you get to the end of a book and it's revealed that your narrator is not who you thought they were the whole time, oh my gosh. I will say, I know Agatha Christie has at least one, possibly two or more books like that I have read, and they are very, very good. I can't say anything because I don't want to spoil those books for you. I think you totally deserve to read them. That's the hardest part about those books, isn't it? You can never recommend them to anybody. You can never say, oh, you like books where the narrator is inconsistent and ends up being the bad guy? Here you go. Like, that just ruins the whole thing. Those are really hard books to recommend. But I have, like, a list of them in my head. What I should do is I should make, like, a mega list of, like, my favorite thrillers or mysteries that may or may not include an inconsistent narrator, and then just add all my favorite mysteries in there, including the ones with inconsistent narrators. And then you just have to pick. You pick one and you're either gonna get an inconsistent narrator or not, but they're definitely gonna be on the list. So you know you're gonna get them eventually if you just keep reading my favorite mysteries. In thrillers and horror books recently, I've been really enjoying monsters, which is weird. I've been really enjoying like folklore monsters, like a sort of Bigfoot I read about. A reanimated corpse, not a zombie. Similar, but not quite, with Superman abilities, and it, oh man. At one point she was described as scuttling. That'll ruin your day. Let me tell you what. That will ruin your whole day. Thinking of a reanimated corpse scuttling? I was at work when I listened to that part. I had to hunt down my manager and be like, hey, took out my earbud, disconnected it. I was like, you have to listen to this. This is gonna ruin your whole day. This is just gonna ruin your night. Let me tell you what. So like really creepy, eerie monsters has been like my thing recently. The last trope that I want to talk about is another one in the mystery or thriller category, and that is trapped inside stories. I think of like the board game Clue, where everybody is stuck inside one building or island or insert thing here, and they're just like being picked off one by one, and they're like, okay, one of us is the killer. Who is it? I've read quite a lot of those books recently because I intentionally seek them out. I think they're very interesting. So let's see. There is, and then there was one, right? Or is it and then there were none? I think it's And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. That one's really good. And then I'm gonna put up the other ones that I read in that genre right here because I can't remember all their titles. I don't remember the titles of books ever. Okay, so I'm gonna cut myself off for today, but I will hopefully be back soon to talk to you about my least favorite things that happen in books, book tropes, character ideas, stuff like that. Now, I say soon. Soon could mean just about anything. Hopefully, though, it means in the next week or so. Alrighty. It was so fun talking to you guys again. Please let me know what your favorite book tropes are down below if you agree or disagree. What are some of the things that you do not like that are on this list? I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for joining me again here at Hobart's Library, and I will talk to you again next time. Bye, guys!